That's what comes to mind.
Okay. I like it.
And I apologize to my parents. I was a bit of a hellraiser when I was in high school in Laramie, Wyoming.
Laramie, Wyoming.
Had my own cop.
That kid.
Officer Pollard.
You're like, oh, you're the dentist kid.
He loves me.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, Jared. Hey.
Do you really have to smash everybody's pumpkin?
You have to water balloon everybody.
What's wrong?
Why, Jared? Why are you so angry?
This is you, this is me, this is us, and this is the Fest Podcast. Good to see you again, Jared.
It's good to see you, Luke. Whoa.
Yo, we did it. Yeah. You like that? I didn't, just so everybody who is just listening and not watching on YouTube, our YouTube channel, the Fest Podcast, I just hit the desk and the bad boy music goes on.
So it goes on. I don't know. You got this special affinity. Call you the Fonz, buddy.
Do you like that 2-second delay? And it went,
I'm like, oh, he just hit the desk. Do I need to look down and make sure I can turn that off before the almighty copy strike comes down on us?
Well, we should mention that. That's Dropkick Murphys.
Dropkick Murphys, shipping up to Boston. Please don't yell at us. We didn't mean to do it.
We have a great show.
We do. It was a great interview this afternoon.
It was a fun one. Let's just bounce into the sound check. We got Indie Country Fest updates coming up. That'll be good.
Yep.
And then we got festival news around the world.
We got
very local.
News.
Very local.
Very breaking.
Very
much
breaking.
Like that light over there that's shaking back and forth.
Yes, we got our boys.
Yeah, right over there, Trace. Okay. It's gonna fall on your head. Hopefully, we can get a camera over there to just have the trace cam for when it does.
That's awesome.
That is great.
The boys from Light Jumper Media are back with us, breaking things. We're about to break some stuff at the end as well. It'll
Making us look good in here. They're great. They're good entertainment. So
festival news around the world. That'll be good. It's very local, very cool. I like it.
I know.
It'll be good. We talked about the headliner, Jared's.
It's for me. It's the lead singer of my favorite local band, the Two-Tone Lizard Kings, a ska band. And it was a good interview. We had a good time. He really put out some great energy.
Yeah, we jump in with Adam Rankin of the Two-Tone Lizard Kings. That's right. It's great. You got to watch that. Like you said, wait all the way till the end. It's fun.
He does a great job, right?
It is fun. Then we jump in to Ralphie's top 3, which is very seasonal.
Yeah, seasonal.
Very seasonal these days.
What season are we in?
Halloween.
We're in Halloween? I wouldn't notice by all the candy around here.
Yeah, like you don't notice.
You're a flat-out candy pusher, my friend. It's just everywhere.
So Ralphie's got a good one on that. That's a pretty cool.
He has a good one, and you have an awful one.
What are you talking about?
Flat out, whatever your pick is just bad.
Okay, Jared, thanks.
Yeah.
Way to stay steady.
I'm just saying. We'll have a poll on it later.
Then we go stage left, and then we're out of here. We get a little, that'll be fun, too. We'll talk a little bit more about Halloween. That'll be good.
Yeah, we're there.
Little personal stuff. Jared, how can these fine people find us?
If you're looking for the podcast, you're going to go to iTunes, all of your podcasting sources. Get in there, subscribe. We're building up some subscribers right now. You're making googly eyes over there?
Yeah.
Nice. So
that's how you get subscribers.
Subscribers, googly eyes. Luke will give you some googly eyes. Rate us, review us so we get in the algorithm so more people can find us, and share us with your friends, your loved ones, your moms. Everybody.
Your moms plural.
Pick up their phone and hit subscribe for them. The more the merrier. You don't actually have to listen. We just need you to subscribe.
Hey, what we're going to do when you jump over to our YouTube channel for the first 100. Yep, 100 subscribers. We're getting about halfway there. We're close. We're climbing.
43, 45?
You know you're climbing when YouTube gives you a little hassle on some stuff here and there.
Every once in a while, they're like, hey, what are you doing? Paying attention.
You guys are getting way too many views.
We sat down and looked at the analytics today, and we're surprised at how many people had watched us and how many hours had been spent watching us.
It's a ton.
Are you sure it's not just all Ralphie and you and I?
Well, no, there's no way because I don't.
You don't look, so
I don't watch.
It's just Ralphie and I watching the videos.
Once it's done, it's done. But no, however, there are many, many views and actually thousands, which is really cool. So thank you to all of you who are jumping over that YouTube channel and watching it. Not only listening to it, but watching it. First 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We are going to throw you into a drawing where there's going to be multiple giveaways for festivals, not only Indie Country Fest, but also some other festivals around the country. So jump in there, hit that subscribe button. You know you want to. You know you like it. Let's slide into ND Country Fest updates with Mr. Lee Jaworski. And you know what?
Find your key with Lee.
Yeah, I like it. So, Jared.
Yeah.
We were at Little Miss Barbecue.
Yeah, what'd you think of that? Was it everything that I talked about?
It was good. So just in case everybody doesn't know, we do Facebook Lives on every Thursday at ND Country Fest Facebook page, and we're jumping around the area.
And we do Instagram too. Don't leave out the G or the IG.
Call. Good call. We do it at the IG as well. We're at Little Miss Barbecue.
We're getting a little tired. Maybe would you call this Arizona spring fever right now? We've lived through the summer and we want to get outside and roam around.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. So we were abandoning the pub table for a little bit. It's a little lonely over there. So we went out to Little Miss Barbecue and had, I think, some of the best barbecue in town.
It is good.
So good.
It's very good. So we're bouncing all around for ND Country Fest for our Facebook Lives on Thursday. We're jumping different locations. We were at Little Miss Barbecue. We're doing one on Thursday.
We haven't quite figured that out yet. We were talking about it, but if it's interesting to us, it'll be interesting to you, I'm sure.
And we're going to rank some Halloween candy on the top ranked Halloween candy on our Facebook Live. That'll be coming up too. So you can bounce over to ND Country Fest Facebook and watch that.
It's a suggestion from our light jumper boys.
That's right.
That's
it was
a good one.
Well done. Well done. But big news for us. We're getting ready. Every year we do our seasonal store for our
Halloween.
Guests.
No.
For holidays. So
holidays?
For your holiday gifts, we are getting together all of our t-shirts, our sweatshirts, our hats, and all that good, where it's only just a seasonal store for so long. We can jump on and buy that at a seasonal great price and your ND Country Fest gear, so you can gear up and wear it all winter, and then once again wear it at ND Country Fest 2021.
Can I get that jacket Ralphy was wearing?
Yeah, that's actually on there.
Is there?
Yeah.
I'll tell the current Mrs. Bennett. That's what I want for Christmas.
A white one? I don't know if white's good.
White's probably not good.
No, maybe a black one.
A black one?
Yeah.
Are you saying I'm a messy guy?
I'm not saying. I believe you just said you're a messy guy.
I will agree with that.
But that's what we got going on. We're ramping up for the seasonal holiday stuff from the apparel and getting it out for the Christmas gifts for everything. We just had a great price increase that happened. A lot of things are happening at ND Country Fest, so make sure you go ahead and get your tickets at ndcountryfest.com. Get the experience that you want, whether that's VIP, whether that's GA, whether you want to camp. And we have some more. As we all know, we release things as the season goes, and we get closer and closer, so there'll be more and more cool things.
More and more stuff coming up, huh?
Yeah, there we go. Let's hear a little bit more about Lee.
What sets me apart is I like to interact with my clients a little bit more, maybe just actually become more friends with them than just a client business relationship. I'd probably have to say it'd be Who Hut, just because I like the food and my daughter absolutely loves it. I chose real estate because I like to help people, and it's fun, it's exciting, it can be stressful, but it's always good to just find a solution to a problem.
All right, Jared. One of our most funnest parts.
Funnest part?
Yes.
Is researching and trying to figure out what is our festival news from around
the world. Let's roll into it.
It's good. It's rough. We sat here today and we're like, all right, let's Google festival music news. Okay, live stream, cancel. And then,
well, you know when it's getting hard because usually we do have something, right? And then it's like, okay, we got this, we heard this, we had that.
We got this, we got that, but we're tired of talking about drive-ins. We're tired about talking about live streams. And then the clouds parted this afternoon.
Well, I do want to mention one before that.
You want to mention one before the clouds party?
Neil McCoy.
Yeah, he played some live music last week.
He was live on Saturday, which he's a 2018 ND Country Fest alumni.
Yeah.
And he does an amazing job. Great entertainer. I want to say he won Entertainer of the Year 3 years in a row back in the heyday, which was awesome. And he's not only is a great entertainer, great guy, but he was doing live shows in Branson, Missouri on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah, so I follow him, we watch him, and all of a sudden he went live, and here he was in a crowd full, not in a crowd full of people, but there's a crowded auditorium. I would say probably there's about 500 there.
Really?
Yeah, and he was singing, and they're having a blast, and they were spread out, in between seats and all that kind of stuff, but it was good.
So Branson and Nashville are kind of starting to get this stuff figured out.
That and NCAA football, because there's 20,000 people.
Or the Cowboys.
Or the Cowboys.
Why can't we have shows? Why isn't there, something going on there?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm not the one to answer. I have an answer for it, but then nobody asked me.
Nobody asked you. You're not President Luke yet?
No.
You're going to be the write-in choice in a couple weeks?
No.
No?
But you're right. the
clouds did part, right?
Yes.
And we were sitting there. We were really having a hard time figuring it out. It's like, what's our second one going to be? What are we going to talk about?
But this almost happens every week where it's like we usually have something.
Right.
Or then it's like, whoa, let's
This
use
one's
this.
better. Let's talk about Eddie Van Halen. We'll talk about this
Right.
next week. And we just sort of play it by ear. And then the NCAA, or do we just want to say the
It wasn't the
Fiesta Bowl?
NCAA. It was the Fiesta Bowl itself.
They just sent you
A nice little email.
a nice little email. And what did that email say?
That email did say that there is going to be a Fiesta Bowl.
Wow. Who plays in the Fiesta? We don't know who plays.
We don't know.
Is
no.
this a national championship year for the Fiesta Bowl?
It's not, but
Okay.
But hold your cards because there may be some
Do I have
places that might not allow the game, so it might become
a national championship.
yeah, or a semifinal game or BCS game or
Right.
whatever it is. You know what I mean? Either a semifinal game or whatnot, because there might be areas that might not
So
allow it to happen. So
the Fiesta Bowl's going on.
Fiesta Bowl's going on.
You, as a proud season ticket holder, got what? One ticket?
Well, it was 6 years.
Right. So you've been to
Season.
6.
6.
All right.
So I'm not just a one timer.
You're not a one and done.
No.
All right.
No. They said, congratulations. You are selected for the 25% capacity that the Fiesta Bowl will be at.
Okay.
You know?
So 2 tickets?
No. They selected and approved me on my 14 tickets.
14.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. And I was just jacked.
So you're part of the 25% for the Fiesta Bowl.
That's right. 25% of the stadium will be at 25%. They approved my longevity, I'm sure, right? Longevity, all that kind of stuff.
I wonder if every season ticket holder for the Fiesta Bowl got tickets, or if some didn't, or some, how that worked.
So the rep that called me, so we have a rep, right? So they called me last week and just said, hey, we're not sure how many tickets of the ones that you have would you like to? And obviously I said all of them.
Well, that's a big thing for you. You don't sell them. You and your family
we all go. It's like a tradition.
It's a family thing for the last 6 years.
It's a big deal for us. But he was like, okay, well, some were saying, okay, I only want 2. Some say I only want all of them. Some, hey, I don't want it. I don't want it at all. All that kind of stuff. And they're like, well, we don't know if there's ever going to be a game or all that kind of stuff. Obviously, we know there's going to be a game because there's college football happening continuously now.
Oh, yeah.
And especially there when the season's over from when the bowl games, there's a gap of like 2 weeks.
Right.
3 weeks. So if something really happened with, I don't know if you want to call it an outbreak, or somebody tests positive, there's enough time in between that.
They've got it built in. They got bye weeks built in.
Absolutely.
So here's what I don't understand.
What don't you understand, Jared?
The Fiesta Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, you want to go there?
I do want to go there because I'm still bitter.
You are very bitter man these days.
So the ASU starts November 7th. That's our
kickoff season.
Luke birthday.
November 7th is my birthday.
Oh, so it's a little special day.
It is. It's a special
ASU
day.
Football starts. So
they got me a ticket. Did you know that?
They got you a ticket?
No. I wish they would. If somebody's listening, I'd love to go to that game.
2, just to get on the field with
Kim
you and Van.
Oh yeah, Van and I.
Yeah, I don't have to go. I mean, it would be nice.
You're gonna be on the sidelines.
I'll be on the sidelines.
Media pass.
But here's hi, we're with the Fest podcast.
You wait. Within time.
We'll get there.
Within time.
We got to talk a lot more Sun Devil football, I think.
Maybe not.
What I don't understand, and I guess I do understand, I'm being facetious, is
You
that
are.
ASU is not going to allow any fans, 25% capacity, 5% capacity, 10% capacity into the stadium. But across town, the Cardinals are allowing fans in. The Fiesta Bowl, which is an NCAA sponsored event-ish.
I don't know. That might be separate.
Sanctioned event?
Maybe sanctioned, but it's more of a
something,
BCS,
Right.
But
It's college football, right? They're
Right.
going to have 25% capacity. But
Right.
the Sun Devils over here in Tempe are not allowing anyone. And that just...
Well, I think that's more of a conference.
It's a
decision,
Pac-12,
right?
and I hate being in the Pac-12, I think.
Well, it's got to be a conference, right? Because all these other teams are having like 25%.
The left coast is
20,000, 30,000.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry, try not to be political.
Edit that in post, boys.
Yeah, take that out. Just say the West Coast teams, the Californias, I guess the Oregons and the Washingtons, those states aren't allowing fans in. So when you watch NFL or any of the NFL games, they don't have fans there. But it should be statewide. I guess the conference has all come together and said, we're not going to do fans, which is
Well, I would say as the I have no idea, right?
Right.
I'm totally guessing. So I would say the Pac-12 is saying, okay, well, these schools in these states aren't allowing fans, but the ones in these states do. Well, then they would say, hey, that's an, unfair competitive advantage of having a crowd and not having a crowd.
So it's having a game in Phoenix in August. So,
Hey, I'm all for the games.
I know. It's my pet peeve. It has really driven me nuts because I'm missing out on tailgate. I'm missing out on going to.
Well, that's your team too, right?
It
You
is.
want to
I
go.
wanna
You want to
see
see it. You don't want to watch it in.
I'm gonna
on
go
your
climb
TV.
a mountain and just sit up on the top and watch the game until they run us off.
Do you think they will allow people up there?
No. I wish.
They run me out of high school football games. They're not going to let people around that mountain.
Up the mountain. There's like 10,000 people on top of the mountain wanting to watch it.
My son and I can't even get to a high school game or stand barely around the fence.
It's nuts.
But hey, it's progressing, right? We know the Fiesta Bowl's happening. We know there's 25% capacity. We did get our tickets. I was super excited about that. It'll be a blast. It'll be fun. And I think you never know, Jared, right? The Pac-12 may change their mind as it progresses. Like the NFL, they didn't have fans right away.
I agree. And they've been late to the ball game all the way through. So.
No, really? We're not playing. We're not playing. We're going to play. We're not.
Oh, crap. Everybody else is playing and we look like, bad. We're not going to get you recruits or players. So, well, maybe we should play.
That's right. But it's exciting. And at least they're playing. And I can't wait to watch them, whether it's on TV or live. And I can't wait for that Fiesta Bowl, baby.
It's going to be a lot of tailgating at my house.
Hey, Jared, we're tripping on into our headliner, which is brought to you by Bruno's Pizza, $15.99, any large. Order today at brunosnd.com. This one is for you, Jared. This is the Jared-themed headliner. You brought him in. You have him. The lead singer, the Two-Tone Lizard Kings, Adam Rankin.
I appreciate that. You have no idea how much country music I've had to listen to lately, Adam, and I wanted to mix it up a little bit because I wanted to get a little horns in here, I think, and a little ska music. So
you guys are buddies. Go ahead.
Yeah, my wife's a big country music fan, and I can relate to where that gets a little exhausting from time to time. But I guess you listen to anything long enough.
So there might be a little country into your a little into your vibe, maybe a little bit on the ska end.
I guess, yeah.
Maybe.
You don't have to appease me.
So Adam and I met at a Christmas party. Gosh, it's got to be about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer.
I think longer than that even.
Yeah, and my buddy is having a Christmas party. My wife does what Heather does, and she's out talking to everybody, meeting friends, making friends. And she comes over and she's like, hey, you've got to meet Adam. He plays a lot of the music that you like. And at first I'm like, wow, she knows what music I like. That's good. And then, so I go over to talk to Adam and we're having a good time. We're talking, he's saying how his band plays a lot of the same, the Boss Tones, Real Big Fish, Dropkick Murphys. I'm in a good mood, so I buy a CD, and I am happy to hop in the car and listen to a CD on the way home, except for the fact that day I had actually replaced my CD player with an MP3 player in the car and could not listen to it. So that tells you where we're at. It was probably longer than 10 years ago. So I get home,
know that part.
pop it in the stereo, and listen to the CD twice, and after that I was sold. This is like one of my favorite bands. I'm like, wow, these guys are really, really good. And so that's how I came across the Two-Tone Lizard Kings.
Thanks. Established in 2014. We do have 3 albums, full-length albums on iTunes. We're signed to Megalith Records, which is primarily run by the Toasters. So if you listen to the Toasters or Buck, who's the lead singer of the Toasters, he's a man of many talents, and he has Megalith, which we are signed on to.
Nice,
very cool. And you guys are out of Tempe or out of Phoenix?
I would just say the Valley of the Sun.
They're all
because we're kind of everywhere,
like most of us are, right?
Mm-hmm,
and you weren't the one who fell into the pool at that Christmas party, were you?
No.
Okay, good.
That was you, Jared. You just don't remember.
It wasn't me. I would remember. All right.
So help me out, guys, okay? I mean, I did some research, all that kind of stuff, but you guys are the experts on ska punk. So tell our listeners, what is this genre about? And a little bit of a history lesson would be good.
I wouldn't even call it a genre. I mean, it is a genre, and it obviously historically, when you listen to ska music in its original form, it sounds a lot like reggae. Right. But it's funny that you actually, if you were to talk to a drummer who understands their beats, you could actually say to them, give me a reggae beat or give me a ska beat, and they would know what to play. Like, so it's a reggae, in drummers terms, there is actually a reggae beat and a ska beat. But primarily what you're listening for is you're listening for upstrokes instead of downstrokes, right? So rock, punk rock, a lot of country music, they're playing a lot of downstrokes. Whereas, and in country, you hear some upstrokes. I like some old Buffett. I like Zach Brown. I like some of the Kenny Chesney stuff that comes out. Brad Paisley's a really, really good guitar player.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you're listening for it, you're listening for that that upstroke instead of it being downstrokes.
Okay.
And then in ska music, you tend to find, obviously I like to say it's like punk rock with horns.
Yeah.
Where it's not quite as upbeat, but you take that upstroke sound and then you add a horn section to it. There's ska bands out there that don't have horns, and it really does have to do with that ska beat.
The horns are what always draws me in. I think as soon as I hear a horn playing, I'm into the music. I really like the music. And I like your horn line. It's fun.
When I started listening, sorry about that. So when I started listening to your stuff right away, I totally noticed the horns.
Yeah.
And then when I was doing the research on it, I didn't know, right? So I'm completely in the dark for the most part on that, right? And I just Googled, great ska bands, and I didn't know. It was like No Doubt. I didn't know that they were labeled that. I didn't know Sublime was. Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, I did know. Right. Because the shirts that you wear, Jerry.
Because I keep dragging them in here as much as I can. So,
but I was surprised, right? I was surprised because I just, I thought that was not that genre. And then I looked it up and like, wow, that's really cool.
And Adam and the guys do some mean covers of my Boss Tones, so I really appreciate it when they play it. So,
yeah, we originally started off as a cover band 16 years ago now, where we were doing a lot of the Boss Tones covers, the Real Big Fish. We do a lot of these days. We like to throw in the specials, which are kind of like old school English ska scene.
Yep. Are they first wave? Would you call them first wave or second?
Yeah, I'd call them first wave.
What's your go-to cover?
It's kind of a mix. Boy, that's
when you're like,
tough.
all right, we're gonna just light this thing up. What's your go-to cover?
That's tough. So, okay, I'll answer that a different way. So right now, my favorite cover that we do is really how we close out our show. So off of our last album, we have a song that we did called Insomnia, and it's a really, really hard-hitting, badass tune. But at the end of it, we actually move into Immigration Song by Led Zeppelin. Right. And then at the end of that, we move into The End by the Beatles.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
So you just roll through three there at the end.
Yeah.
I think my favorite cover right now of you guys is Maggie May, but that's just me, I think. So
that's a good one. So Pie Tasters, that's another band that I didn't mention earlier that I should have.
Yeah, they're really good. I really enjoy them. So
yeah.
So how long have you been touring? 16 years? Or when did you start? Have you been out on the road?
Touring is trickier because we all have families and day jobs.
Right.
Our longest tours have only been a couple weeks, but we started pretty early on. We would shoot down to Tucson or shoot over to LA. Got to play at the Roxy one time in LA. That was fun.
What's your favorite green room story?
I was at the Roxy probably, where first thing that comes to mind, the Roxy's their green room is upstairs.
Right.
What makes the Roxy so cool from a band perspective is when you walk down on stage, they have these giant theater curtains that they close before you're going to go up, and then when ladies and gentlemen, the Two-Tone Lizard Kings, and then the theater curtain goes up, right. And then you get to see the crowd. So the curtain goes up, and that place was packed. People. It was wall-to-wall people. It was really cool. But favorite green room story was green room at the Roxy. They have two green rooms upstairs. And we had just gotten in, and it was really late, and I was super tired. So I went upstairs to try to find some place to lay down, and there was a couch up there that I went to lay down in it, and it was like, so gross. Lay down on this couch, and I was like, I gotta find someplace else. But I sat up and I looked across the room, and there was a picture of Bob Marley sitting in that same couch.
The same couch.
Yeah.
That's
And I was
awesome.
like, oh,
And then were you like, I'll go back down and lay there?
That's a historical couch right there.
So where were you guys at when, with the band, when, in March, obviously we know COVID hit and all that kind of stuff. Were you guys out and about, or what, how many shows did you end up not having to play, or what was going on?
We had a really, really big show that we had to shut down. That was in Vegas. We had I believe it was 2 California trips. And obviously, and that was just off of our own booking. That wasn't off of the national traveling acts. They usually hit us up a couple months beforehand. We've had to turn down some pretty awesome tours in the past, again, because of families and jobs. But we were going to try to go out for 4 days, 5 days on a couple of occasions, and we weren't able to do either one of those. Bummer.
When do you plan on getting back out there?
It really has to do. So I see it as more when we start seeing the national acts kicking back in gear, which is the real bummer of all this is going to be to see who is going to be able to get back out. Right. Mm-hmm. Because some of these guys, they're on the road for months at a time, and that's where they make most of their money. So they get back and, they got to find a job. So, I mean, who's going to find that job where they just don't want to go back out on the road? Right. I know some guys that have been doing a lot of live streaming and a lot of self promotion while they've been locked down, and they've been able to do pretty well.
Yeah, we've been talking about some of the ways during COVID that artists and festivals and people have been trying to get out there, and one of them was live streaming. And for me, a live stream was great because, the Dropkick Murphys right out the bat were probably one of the first people that did a St. Patrick's Day show, because that's their gig, right? And so they did a live stream there, and then they've done streaming out of Fenway, and you're still in touch with the fans. And then you guys went and did one recently down at Last Exit Live?
That was at Last Exit Live, yeah.
How was that?
It was awesome. I mean, again, as the vibe itself is really strange. I saw Fishbone did a show at a drive-in, where everybody's kind of stayed in their cars, but they set up this huge stage and they were playing in front of the cars, to keep people distanced.
Right. I
thought that was pretty cool. Our live stream, I thought, turned out really well from a production perspective.
It looked great.
Sound quality, the video production was really nice, but there was nobody there.
Was it hard to get in? Was it hard? You do your pre-show rituals and all that kind of stuff, and then you get out there, and then it's a live stream. But was it hard to get into it? Right. That's my question.
It wasn't hard to slam a couple of beers before we went. That part came naturally.
Is that your pre-show warm up?
Beer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It really. So that the biggest thing, if anybody saw this, is that I was wearing sunglasses at the beginning of our stream. I was wearing a hat and sunglasses, and I've never once worn sunglasses.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I was watching. I was in the pool smoking a cigar and drinking a beer, and very happy that I could get some Two-Tone Lizard King music.
Can't figure out how to turn that off.
That's fine.
The sunglasses, though, what? Because there's so many lights on you? Is that what it was?
No, it was literally because there was nobody there, and I didn't have. Normally, when we're playing, I'm usually kind of
eye contact
with the people. Yeah, I like to make eye contact with people. But we do a lot of screaming and yelling, and when we do, I tend to squeeze my eyes shut. And I wasn't sure how that was going to translate in the video.
Right.
But then I just got to the point where I was like, "This is stupid," and I just threw them off. It wasn't me. How
many people were out there watching you guys when you were doing it?
They said that, and we knew of a bunch of streaming parties that were going on, but at its high point, there was a couple hundred. Right. I think the next day there was close to 4,000 people that had watched it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Very cool.
How many were in physically there? Just you? And
no, it was it. Just the band. There's the band. We had, I think it was 2 or 3 videographers, and then we had a producer, and then our sound guy, and then our lighting guy, and that was it.
So on the drive-in theaters, we've talked about that, where we've talked about it a lot, because if you don't know, Luke does a music festival, and we've been talked about the various options: pods, drive-in theaters, live streaming,
Caged corrals, bubbles.
Luke wants to get people, you know, we want to get out where we're actually engaging in people, right?
Well, back to it, right? Where there's people there, there's people, right? You know, there's 400 or 500 at the, you know, venue, or, you know, a couple or thousands of people at the venue. Cause I'm more of the guy, like, I want to be there. I want to hear the big speakers going for sound check. I want to smell the beer. I want to see the guys. I want to see the ladies having a blast. I want to smell the onions cooking and the burgers rolling and all that good stuff. I want to really get in and I want to experience it. Not to say I don't like a good set of music, but I want the whole thing, and I you know, and I want this to progress.
When the kick drum beats your heart for you,
yes,
then you're good.
You're my guy right there.
Would you do a drive-in show?
Is there still one up in Scottsdale? I'm trying to think if there's even a drive-in.
I know there's one. There's one out at 59th and Bethany Home.
That's the one right there.
Odd fact about that one: it used to be my dad's dairy farm when he was growing up as a kid. That's
cool.
So I haven't been over there in a while, but I know Bert Kreischer, the comedian, is doing a drive-in, or just did one up in Prescott. They turned, is it Finland, the auto dealer, the Toyota dealership up there, they turned the parking lot into a drive-in theater, and he did a show up there. So I don't know.
I love Bert Kreischer. He's awesome.
He's pretty funny, right?
The Machine.
Have you watched The Cabin yet?
The Cabin. What's that?
It's his new TV show on Netflix.
Oh yeah, you know what? I watched like maybe 15 minutes of it. Didn't grab me right away.
Yeah, if you get to the second one with Nikki Glaser and Caitlyn Jenner, it's pretty interesting. It's a good time. So,
I got a question here. Yeah. Will there be a resurgence of ska?
So ska always floats underneath the radar.
I know it's floating, but will it be a major research?
And it would be really great to be able to say without a doubt, yes. I don't think it'll ever go away, you know, because it's a really, really fun time. The live shows are great.
Yes.
People listen to ska music all the time and they don't even realize it. Like if you ever watch like kids cartoons, most of the cartoons have a ska intro beat to it because it's really upbeat and it's fun.
Right? Yeah. That's how I was trying to describe it to Luke. It's like, it's really upbeat. It's a good time. But when you start listening to the lyrics, you're like, whoa, that was kind of dark every once in a while.
Well, when I first hit your Spotify up and then I started listening to Bombs Away, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know this stuff.
You're like, I've heard it.
I know, I'm like it. I like it. So you're not going to Nostradamus it for us and give me a date of like, this year is when it's going to explode again. Not that it's never gone away, but you know what I mean? Nothing?
We've gotten to a point where there's a lot of button pushing that goes on when it comes to making music. Right. And country music aside, because I think in the country realm, you still do have a really, really strong presence. The singer-songwriter relationship doesn't really translate into ska music, though.
Right.
You don't see people outside of the band writing songs for bands in the ska scene. It just doesn't really work like that. And that's I think country music, to its credit, these days, that's why it can pop out so much great music, is because you have songwriters focused on songwriting and you have singers focused on singing. Because there's a lot of time and effort that goes into writing music. But the other side of the fence, when you look at pop and a lot of the stuff that, you know, turns popular for kids, because the sweet spots, the 18 to 24-year-olds.
Right.
I think there's just so much of that sound that comes now. It's computer generated and it comes from pushing buttons.
Right.
And that's never going to be ska music, because ska music is all about, in general, it's all about the live.
It is. It's the show. I can't wait to drag
about the show.
Luke out to one of your shows. And
you won't have to drag. I'm in now. I was like, I know.
He's taking me out. Where are we? In a week, 2 weeks, we're going out to see Tracy Bird.
Next Wednesday, we're going to Tracy Bird.
I don't know who Tracy Bird is, but apparently Luke keeps telling me he's a big country star. So.
Flying
live music. Go for it, dude.
Yeah, we're going out to a dude ranch in Wickenburg. So it should be a good entertaining.
It'll be a good time.
I'll be looking for the mosh pit.
It'll be a good time.
So Luke likes to wrap these things up with one final question for you. So
if you could do anything in the world right now, non-music related, what would that be?
The first thing that came to my mind would be to be out on a boat in Lake Erie, believe it or not. So I grew up in Ohio, right on the lake, and I got to go back a couple weeks ago and was out on my brother's boat with him, which sadly sank last week.
Oh no, what happened?
I don't know.
Storm?
He doesn't know. I think so people always ask, did he leave the plug out?
All right.
Yeah.
Did you take the plug with you?
I think the hull. It was an older boat.
Right.
I think the hull may have had some kind of a crack or something in it. But
So you're not a suspect.
being out on the being out on the lake when the lakes are glass and you got a beer in your hand and you got the skyline in front of you, it was awesome.
It's a good time.
Just floating around, just hanging out.
Right?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that
That's
too.
good. Is there any way we could ask you to end this with one of your great ska, would we say screams or a vocal or anything like that? I know you're probably not warmed up yet, and so I apologize for springing that. Is there any way we could get anything from there? Or even Bombs Away, something like that?
Let's see here. Let me think.
Wow, let's put
I'm
him on the
digging.
spot.
This will be good. I heard him do it earlier. I'm like, oh, this would be good.
Oh, that's where that came from.
Oh yeah, I heard you earlier do a little scream.
Let's see. Jumping on the floor with your elbow to your knees. Rudy's in the back, you'll get him beating physically. Buckets at the bar, he's getting drunk. He's about to dance with buckets. Got his beer, you know it's time for Skeckerman to pick it up. Pick it up with the rude boy style. Pick it up.
Yeah. Woo!
Adam, you are the best. Our favorite.
Yeah. I love it.
Question though. That's the real question to be like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very happy right now.
There it is. There it is. Hey, Adam, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate you. How can all of our listeners track you guys down and follow you? So when you're out back touring, how can they find you and go see where you're performing, or even find your music so they can listen to you like I did and I enjoyed so much? Jared introduced me. So how can they find you?
Be Two-Tone Lizard Kings, which is number 2. Sometimes they write it two-tone as one word, number 2. On either iTunes, Facebook is a great way to reach us if you want to see when shows are coming.
Yep.
Spotify, Pandora.
Got some good live shows on YouTube. So
and actually you can catch the stream that we did at Last Exit Live. I believe that is now up on YouTube.
Oh, that is great. And hit up that Spotify, hit up Bombs Away. That's my new favorite song. I do love it quite well. And man, I will be at that next show that you're happening here in Arizona. So you can count me in, my friend.
Yeah,
right,
I will see you there too.
Thanks for coming, man.
Jared, thanks again, guys.
All right. Thanks for coming, Adam. That was great.
Brothers and sisters, I hear you asking yourself day after day, what am I gonna have for lunch? Do I want another burger? No. Do I need another taco? No. Brothers and sisters, may I introduce you to Bruno's Pizza. Pizza is the bread of endless possibilities. What can go on a pizza can go in a calzone wrap. Look beyond a pepperoni, 32 pizzas and a snack. If you like heat, try the Lava Hawaiian. Marauder Pizza is also kicking. You need Bruno's Pizza in your life. Let the humble Bruno's Pizza lift you up from your hunger and deliver you into the realm of satisfaction. East Front Avenue, online at brunosnt.com. Can I get a napkin?
All right, this is where we munch on into Ralphie's top 3. We give Ralphie the topic. He gives us his top 3. Ralphie, are you there? For those of you that are looking on, listening on the podcast, you can jump on over to our YouTube. You can see Ralphie in the flesh, baby, on the Zoom call. So, Ralphie, are you there? I see you. Can you hear us?
What's up, fellas? It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's
Always
awesome
a
to see you.
pleasure.
You're looking rather dapper
Always
today.
a pleasure.
Looking good in that. Is that a jacket, a pullover? What's going on there?
Nice.
My boss got me a little Indie Country Fest gear.
I like the guitar, the American flag guitar in the background, posters.
Is that signed?
It's signed.
yes,
Jake Owen. The poster signed by Low Cash.
You got Charlie Daniels
Shout
on
out
that.
to those guys.
You got Charlie Daniels on that guitar too, probably.
Yeah.
How about it? Okay, are you ready for the top 3? Yeah?
I'm ready.
I was going to do a drum
I was
roll.
waiting for you.
Do we have a drum roll?
I'm so excited this week.
Top 3 Halloween candies of all time.
Ooh,
Hit
it
it.
is that time of year.
It is. We're real close to Halloween.
Next week?
Okay.
Next
the
week,
live?
couple days. Depends if you're watching on YouTube, a couple days. If you're listening, about a week.
Yeah,
10
it'll be
days.
out week. We're going to do top Halloween candies next week, too. So this is a little,
It'll be fun.
yep,
Prerequisite.
pre-whack. We're getting in the candy eating mood.
What do you got? Number 3.
Number 3, I have Snickers.
Frozen or thawed?
King size.
Right? we just had a whole conversation about king size.
I have traveled with this man over 5,000 miles in a car, and king size, I agree.
King size, regular Milky Way, or large
You know,
Milky Way.
everyone's happy with the little snack size.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing more exciting than getting a king size candy bar for Halloween.
I've seen you smile, my friend.
Right? That makes the kids happy. All right, number 2.
Number 2, I'm sure you don't get this when you're trick-or-treating, but it's a staple for Halloween, candy corn.
Candy corn's heroin, man. I love that stuff.
You
I
and
can't
Jared.
say- right?
You and Jared need to hang out. I threw these on the floor last week. These pumpkins.
We were in here setting up. They were sitting right in front of me.
He's still eating them.
So good.
I had my fingers in them and I'm eating it. And Luke's like, those were on the floor. And I'm like, I'm a fat guy. I can't help it. So
You know what the trick is on those bad boys? You take candy corn or those pumpkins and you mix them in with peanuts in a dish and you eat it.
see episode 10.
Yes, but salted nut roll.
Salted nut roll.
It's good.
Did you see how I stopped myself from eating the candy corn? I just stuffed a bunch of candy in the candy corn.
But that means you're just
That
layering.
just prolongs it.
Yeah, but I got to open up the Skittles to get to it. If it's just laying there, I'm not going to do
You'll
it.
be like, give me this.
Arrgh. All right, number 1.
Hit that button. Ooh. Number 1, top Halloween candy of all time.
Halloween, every time I would go out and trick or treat, there was I wouldn't say neighbor because it was like almost a mile away, but we would always trick or treat all the way to his house because he gave out soda cans every year. It was a Pepsi 12 ounce, and back in my day, pop wasn't as available as it is now.
Yeah, they weren't pushing it like they do now.
No.
Did you
So
go home? Go ahead.
It was a long walk. It was worth it every time because we got a soda, and then we would hit all the houses again, and they would be like, "Oh, you guys are back again, huh?"
So you would be one of those guys that would circle back, change masks with your friends, and then circle back to get another Pepsi.
If you're not working it right? Our house used to be the house everybody ended up at because my dad was a dentist, and so he didn't give out candy. He gave out like a
Toothbrush.
toothbrush, and this thing you put in your mouth.
Why would they end up
And it
there?
would show where your cavities are because the parents would bring them by to get the free toothpaste. It was the greatest marketing, whatever.
Your dad was like, "I'll see you guys on Monday."
Yeah. All right, Ralphy, you don't want to leave just yet because you've got to hear what Luke's top candy bar is. Or
Mine?
Because it's just horrible, awful.
No, it's not.
It's
no,
awful.
it's not.
Oh, I
Worst
know
candy
it.
bar ever.
I know it.
You do? What is it?
It's Halloween. Almond Joy.
Oh,
How did you know that? How did you know that?
I've rode just as long as you rode with me.
how can you eat that?
But I do like them in the cooler for a while.
2
Ralphie.
snack size, 1 year. That's all I can do with Almond Joy.
Ralphie, have you been watching The Boys on Amazon Prime?
No, but I have it bookmarked or whatever you want
You
to call
should.
it. I will check it out.
This year, the Almond Joy has taken a
Resurgence.
resurgence. It has. It really. And like
Maybe Ska will here.
they've mentioned it. I hope so. They've mentioned it like 4 or 5 times as the worst candy bar ever. And they almost kill somebody with one. And so it's like Almond Joy, Almond Joy, Almond Joy, Almond Joy, to the fact like, did they pay for all this crappy marketing?
I bet they have. Reverse psychology.
And Luke's like, they have to. I've been seeing them everywhere now.
I've seen them on all the grocery store checkout things,
That's
like
horrible.
big ones.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. Yours, Jared, what's your favorite Halloween candy of all time? Ralphie, if you guess his, that is money.
What am I, Ralphie?
Guess it.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint.
Do it.
There's a joke.
Cadbury egg.
Okay.
No, give him another one. It's non-seasonal, right?
Yeah, I would say it's non-seasonal.
One more.
There's a joke
Non-seasonal.
involved. Or you get a joke.
Oh.
Does that help?
Yeah. I forgot.
Right? Grape flavor?
Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
But what kind? What flavor?
Banana.
No. That stuff's awful, man. You got to go for grape.
Great.
Yeah, grape.
Right?
I'm a strawberry guy.
All right, Ralphie, that was good. Let's hear the rah, rah, rah.
Thanks, Ralphie. It's always been a pleasure. Top 3. That was a good one. Happy Halloween.
I'm out of here. Rah,
See
rah,
ya.
rah.
Bye.
ND Country Fest 2021 is coming back stronger and better than ever with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Little Texas, featuring Diamond Rio, Leroy Parnell, John Michael Montgomery, with more coming soon. Plan now to attend Dakota's largest and nation's fastest growing country music and camping festival, ndcountryfest.com.
Sponsored by Coors Light, Action Motorsports, New Vision Security, Trans Trash, Smithworks, and American Family Insurance, DJ Coulter Agency.
All right. Let's jump in to stage left, Jared. It's the seasonal stage left. We want to talk about some of our favorite Halloween memories, stories. What do you got?
I don't know. So
I know that you had a really cool one.
a really cool
Yeah.
one. I think there's two things pop up for me for Halloween, right?
Dose, huh?
Right off the bat. One is my mom used to make Halloween costumes for us.
Okay.
Because, maybe that's just a function of living in Podunk, Wyoming.
Could be, right?
Where you
Not many costumes around.
Right. It's not like you have.
There wasn't Amazon at the time.
No Amazon was. No
Sears
is it called
catalog.
Sears catalog was a big one, dude. Used to go through that and start circling what you wanted for Christmas.
You just circled the whole book and gave it to him.
Maybe. Like, there was some of that. But yeah, my mom used to help us make Halloween costumes. And I distinctly remember one of them being a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica.
I had to look that up.
You had to look it up.
that.
So
Yeah, I was
how
like,
would you
what are you
explain it? It's more of it's a robot. It's got like this red eye that goes back.
I think it looks more like Boba Fett, but
Oh, it's kind of very Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So, but I remember walking around in this, I guess it would be a robot costume, but for me, it was a Cylon and going around Cody, Wyoming, probably dang close to being cold, and just doing my candy, collecting my candy and coming back and having to watch all the kids come to my house for toothpaste. So, we talked earlier.
yeah, they all end up at my house for what? Toothpaste?
Toothpaste?
What?
It's the dad marketing technique, AIM toothpaste. I remember the little box.
See you kids on Monday.
The more fun story, I guess, is my buddy George and I used to have this big Dodge Ram pickup. And reminds me a lot of the Bronco when we went out and drove around in the Bronco. I sent him a message on Facebook that was like, oh, this totally reminds me of me and you going out and causing trouble. Well, one of the things we caused trouble on was we were the Smashing Pumpkins before the Smashing Pumpkins.
Now that's a genre of alternative rock.
Alternative rock. Not ska.
No.
We thought grunge, but maybe alternative rock.
Yeah. I don't know how that slipped me in my memory this morning.
Right. And then, so we would go out and we loved getting ourselves some pumpkins, driving around the Dodge and just smashing the heck out of them. So I distinctly remember one Halloween, a big fall snowstorm had rolled through Laramie. And I got out of the truck and I'm running up to get the pumpkins. And, it's this, I remember this long sidewalk, I want to say 50 feet, but probably, 10 feet or 20. So I'm running across the lawn and I'm not thinking about all the snow. And the next thing I know, I'm up to snow in my waist trying to get to this pumpkin.
You're like Rocky and Rocky 4.
Trying to get up there, trying to do it stealthily because you want to get up there, grab that pumpkin, get the heck out and drive away without anybody knowing. Not our most stealthiest pumpkin swipe, but we did get the pumpkins and they did get smashed. And
did you ever get busted?
No, for that? No, I never got busted for that.
For that pumpkin smashing?
No pumpkin smashing. Maybe a stop sign stolen.
Well, we're on a holiday season here with seasonal Halloween.
Little pranks.
Let's stick it to Halloween.
Yeah, so that's when you talk Halloween. That's what comes to mind.
Okay. I like it.
And I apologize to my parents. I was a bit of a hellraiser when I was in high school in Laramie, Wyoming.
Had
my own
you
cop.
were that kid.
Officer Pollard.
You're like, you're the dentist kid.
He loves me.
Hey, Jared.
Hey.
Do you really have to smash everybody's pumpkin?
Do you have to water balloon everybody?
What's wrong?
Why, Jared? Why are you so angry? All right. So what's your Halloween memory?
Well, I actually have a couple now too, now that we're sitting there talking about it.
Right.
So I wasn't very old. I would say I was probably maybe 7 or 8.
Okay.
And I had to stay home from school. And my oldest brother was around, so I stayed home and he watched me. And it was like, hey, I'm going to go. And this is like when you rented a movie. Like an actual VHS.
You had to go to Blockbuster?
He's like, I got some Scott. Everybody's met him in episode 3 or whatever.
Scott was a great interview.
Yeah. And he was like, hey, I got this movie. It's called like The First Power. I believe it was The First Power. And I'm like, okay, I'm just a little kid.
Right.
And it was like week of Halloween.
Oh.
So I wanted to get well. So I go back to school so then I could go to trick or treating.
You're like, I don't have 104 degree temperature.
I'm okay. Never mind the smallpox.
Right. Fair enough.
No. So we watched this movie called The First Power. It's kind of wild. I think I'm pretty sure it's The First Power, but it was some of those like stuff that you would actually like, wow, this could really happen, cause it was like satanic stuff. It was
a little Blair Witch there. Maybe.
Yeah. And it was like, whoa. And then all I remember in the movie where the bad guy who was, running around getting people and all that kind of stuff was, he was like satanic guy or whatever. And the cop got him on the building and then he stood on the end of the building and he goes, see you around, buddy boy. And he jumps and then lands on his feet and runs off. And I was like, oh.
Wait, so you're 7. How old's Scott?
Scott was probably 17.
Oh.
17, 18 probably.
Bad big brother.
But I was like, I believed it. Like, how did that guy do that?
Right.
It didn't mess me up, but I had like bad dreams for like 3 months. Like the guy like really existed. Like I could really do that. And I was like, that Halloween was horrendous because people were like, it just kind of just freaked me out. So I was like, whoa, I'll never forget that. That was the scariest show I've ever experienced because I was probably young.
We had this tree. Like I lived on Willow Lane and it went that way and around a mountain, or not a hill. It was a hill down. And after I saw King Kong the first time, I would get up in my window. I had a second story window. And if I looked out the window in the dark, there was this gigantic tree down the road in the dark that I swear to God was King Kong coming to get me.
Well, you never know.
Drove my parents insane.
Maybe it was.
I won't be able to sleep tonight. King Kong's coming. All right, what's the second one?
The happy story is we lived out in the country, so we didn't have many homes around us. So what did we do as country kids? We went to the city with our pillowcases.
Oh.
So our dad would usually take us and we would go right into the smack dab of Bismarck city center. We'd grab our pillowcases and then we would go to as many homes as we could in 2.5 hours and get as much candy.
Wait.
And I always loved it when people were like, hey, you kids from the neighborhood? Yeah, we're just a couple blocks down.
Yeah.
About 30 miles.
Our neighborhood has one house on it.
Yeah, it's ours.
Dad brings you in a thing of candy. It's like, here you go. That's trick-or-treating.
But it was cool because we actually still got to go do it. And it felt like the city. Well, it was the city. But, you get your big. We literally had pillowcases full of candy.
Our neighborhood's been like that at times where I'm like, I don't know any of these kids running around through here. And I'm pretty sure that they just kind of come in, get the candy, move over to the next neighborhood, and just roll around.
And I'm cool with that because I was that guy.
Right? Fair enough. I wanted to get as much candy as I could possibly get at that time. So,
Jared, how can these fine people find us.
People find us.
Yeah, get them in there.
They can find us on the fine iTunes and all your other podcasting sources. And again, rate us, review us, leave a comment. We've had some spicy comments on our YouTube, so I think they're leaving those for Ralphie. What do you think?
Maybe, possibly. Speaking of that, if you jump over to our YouTube, you can watch us. We drop every Friday a new YouTube, and every Friday we drop a new podcast. But jump over to YouTube, subscribe. Our first 100 listeners, you're going to jump into a drawing.
We got something special for you guys.
Yeah, and thank you for all of you who have been watching our YouTube and listening, which is the thousands, which we highly appreciate it, and is going quick for us, which is great.
It's moving up. I love getting those viewers. I love getting those subscriptions and just seeing our audience grow.
And with some of you that are listening on the podcast, all of our interviews you can see on our YouTube channel.
Have you
on our
seen
Zoom.
all that?
Yeah.
So like my mom is starting to watch all of these now.
That's good.
Because Ralphie's just sliced and diced them all up, and she starts talking about, oh, I remember this one, blah, 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 blah. So she's seeing them in content that is biteable, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And in two, like when you're on the YouTube channel, you can see in the details to say, hey, this is at 30 seconds. The updates at this, the headliners at this, or like
you can just get it when it pops up. I feel like I have to watch it every time it pops up on my thing. I'm getting tired of watching us though.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe. That's what happens. You get a notification of every time we put something new out.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And Ralphie's doing it.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, if you like what you're about to listen to here, this is our boys, the Quaker City Nighthawks. But you know what? Here's to you, here's to me, you know the rest, and we are